Hey guys, so you are listening to Matter of Faction with Alex Callan. Today we're very lucky to have Jamie McVicker on the line from Introspect. Jamie, how's it going, man?
Yeah, it's alright, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. So, 4 days at this point from the release of EP Sun. How are you guys feeling for that?
Yeah, a lot of feelings at the same time. We've been sitting on these tracks for a long time, so for us, it's at the point where we've heard it so many times, don't really know what to think of it anymore. So, hoping that, people enjoy it. We put a lot of time into the record, so, yeah.
Well, there's definitely been, a really cool response so far. I mean, some of the stream counts on Spotify and YouTube, I suppose as a journo, we really study those things. I'm not sure if you've been taking as much notice, but in the multiple thousands, it's obviously been getting quite a lot of response, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's exciting. We're quite happy with that. I guess, just hoping that the trend continues. It's not some kind of bubble. It's interesting to separate out, what comes through press things and what's organic. Spotify's been telling us we get a lot of people tune into us from their Discover playlist and things like that. So hoping that continues.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, and obviously it's reaching pretty far because you actually premiered The Wisdom of the Mountain on an English radio show. Am I right? Well,
we did the premiere. The first time it was played live was on Triple J, so that was here in Australia. It was also played on, UK radio shortly after that, which was a bit wild. Very exciting. Yeah,
it is always so weird when, Introspect just being a Sydney band, it is so weird when bands release, new EPs or new songs and they kind of check where it's actually getting noticed, and a lot of the time you'll find it's getting played on some uni radio station in the Czech Republic, and you're just how did they find my song, kind of thing?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
So, it's really cool that it has, had that range, and I'm really, really interested by the EP's album cover, Midnight Sun, the cover for it, because it has, there was a really cohesive look to all the VHSs of the X-Files in the 90s. And it kind of gives me, that vibe, to be honest.
That's great.
I suppose I was wondering, what was the intention behind the album cover?
Look, I'll take the X-Files comment. That's great. As for the cover, I mean, it's an idea that I had and was workshopping with Felicity for a while. We actually did a photo shoot with Amy Benjamin, who's this awesome photographer who's done all our press stuff. I just, a lot of the lyrics in the EP sort of pertain to, human, what it's like to be a human being, what it means to be human, but also then our connection to the world, whether that be through technology and the environment in Mjolnir, or Star's End touches more on the spiritual element of things. So I wanted to create this picture showing Felicity with the trees and the aurora, all the things, all the beauty of nature. That not saying that we are separate from it, but actually we're a part of that. And when we're celebrating those things or discussing those things in the lyrics, it's a celebration of humanity as well. So, and there's a symbol in the background, which is a symbol for one of our singles. There's a few little sneaky things in there in the EP as well as the artwork that links together the meaning of each song and how they relate to each other. So that was a bit of a rambling answer.
No, that's I was kind of blown away by the answer, to be honest, Jamie, because 95% of bands that I interview, definitely don't have songs or themes about, looking at how great the world is and things like that, and the actual plus side. If anything, a lot of bands go for the complete opposite. So
yes,
I think it is really cool that you are kind of embracing that approach.
Well, I mean, it's part of the mission of the band, like, more broadly. I mean, the EP name Midnight Sun is like a reference to, a phenomenon that happens in the Arctic or the Antarctic when you're really far away from, the equator. The sun in the summer, often for like, weeks or months, will still be around at midnight, so it'll never actually set. You always have this kind of very low winter sun at all times. And, metaphorically, that, I guess, for the EP, for us, this idea of the midnight sun, I found it like an inspiring, thematic idea that, like, no matter how dark life can get and no matter how much messed up stuff happens, and I'm not saying that, like, life hasn't got suffering in it, but you can always find, like, a light through, like, and learn, and grow through those experiences. So, it's about finding light in darkness, which I guess is, like, why we try and bring the melodic aspect and, positive outlook, but with the heavy instrumentation. Holding both sort of things at once.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that because, that's actually kind of moving on to one of my next questions, Jamie. So you've given the segue for me a bit. But your music is so rooted in melody and, there is such an eclectic mix from, Brian May-esque kind of epic, like, shredding guitar at points to kind of like, the strip-up version of Mix is just incredible, and like the melody and the Wisdom of Mountain, it's so broad in the sounds that it covers. And I suppose, I mean, you would realize this growing up in the metal community as well. There's certain metal communities that I feel, will kind of get like not annoyed that, no, that's not this genre, that's this subgenre. And progressive is definitely one of them. So I suppose, was it intentional that you did kind of want to push the realms?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess from, like, when Loco and I were starting out the band, I mean, you can thank Loco for the lead guitar, Brian May-esque stuff. He writes all the leads. And his background is, like, he does play metal, but he has background in all sorts of guitar playing. So I think he brings maybe a more melodic feel-based style to his lead playing than you might expect in a regular metal band. And similarly, like, there's lots of, I don't just listen to metal, like, I'm really into a lot of types of EDM and ambient music, shoegaze, or there's lots of interesting stuff going on in, across the board in music. And I wanted to bring some of those things into prog. I saw that metal has this, like, extreme power to, like, if you think of, like, people who are fans of bands like Architects or Northlane or any sort of modern metal band, what they're listening to the music for is this, like, raw experience of power. In Architects, it's, like, communicating grief, extremely powerful emotions. And I just wanted to see if you could use that power of the metal sort of form to, communicate other powerful experiences and feelings that aren't always negative, like spiritual insights or love or whatever.
Definitely. Yeah. And, I mean, citing Northlane, that is something that I know, like, Adrian, the original, like, vocalist of Northlane, was very spiritual in his lyricism and things like that. It was such an interesting contrast. Always kind of hearing his music, especially, if you'd go to a metal festival and you'd be listening to 12 bands that day, you'd really notice the one person singing about something different or doing something different. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, Adrian's probably my biggest influence, I would say, lyrically, in terms of writing lyrics, but then also, Northlane, Loco and I are huge fans. Definitely guides how we write our guitars, and also the outlook of the music.
They definitely are pretty incredible in what they've managed to achieve, and even like the commercial acclaim that they've got now, without actually having to refine their sound. It's pretty awesome. And I suppose keeping with that heaviness, you also feature Liam McDonald of Infinite Illusion on, I don't want to pronounce this one. Can you pronounce it for me?
Yeah, Mjolnir. Yeah, it's a Viking name.
Yeah.
Thor's hammer. But yeah, it's a tricky one.
So I suppose, how did the relationship with Liam first come about? And because the impact that he has on the song when he comes in is absolutely massive.
Yeah, well, I mean, that song was always the heaviest one that we had, and there were several sections where we were like, yeah, we need someone to scream over this. Like, it's just the right approach. That sort of chaotic, heavy riffs and stuff. We needed a screaming vocalist. We hit up a few people. Potentially we're like looking at some vocalists who are from like more, I guess, like like bigger bands. But we eventually settled on Liam because, I don't know, his style and range is really great. He's just a wicked vocalist. And we met him through our vocalist Felicity. She's been mates with Liam for like a long time now. So it made sense to bring him on. And he did an awesome job. We're very, very stoked with what he brought to that track. And the performance in the video as well, like he just killed it. Great
absolutely.
Stagemanship
he's just got such a presence about him. And I truthfully hadn't heard too much by Infinite Illusion, so they're a band I need to check out now. So that's really cool to link through that. And you guys also joined Destroy All Lines like towards the start of the year, or was it last year?
I can't remember exactly when it solidified, but not quite recently. Yeah,
so I suppose it's kind of stuff been slightly on hold because of COVID, but with Destroy All Lines, like, we can hope that there's going to be like some upcoming shows and appearances popping up over the next year or so.
Yeah, look, we've got every finger and toe crossed for just getting out there and playing this music to as many people as possible. The Destroy All Lines agency thing is great because it means we do, get sort of a preferential pick for any Destroy All Lines tours that are coming through Australia. And they're sort of, I feel like, leading the charge. There's a few things they're putting together now that are starting to, sell out across the East Coast. So I'm feeling there's kind of a renaissance of live music that hopefully continues, at least here in Australia. And we'd like to, be part of that. But for the moment, we're looking at, very close to locking in a date for our EP launch show, which will be in the middle of May. But besides that, we don't have anything else confirmed for live shows, but hoping, to fill it.
Is that like a kind of hometown Sydney EP show?
Yeah, it will be in Sydney, and we're trying to bring together a few other bands from Sydney to get a bit of a nice lineup going, and should be putting some money into the production to try and make it a bit special. So anyone who's in Sydney should probably come to that show because it should be good.
No, that sounds absolutely unreal, man. Well, thank you so much for having a chat today, Jamie, and best of luck with the release of the EP. I know it was your birthday on Saturday. Happy birthday for that as well. So cheers. I hope that when the EP comes out, you find a way to celebrate even harder than you did on the weekend.
That'll be a mission, but I think I can manage it.
I reckon we can find a way. But thank you so much, man. And the Faction's a massive fan of everything you guys are doing. I know the listeners can't wait to hear the EP.
Amazing. Thanks so much, mate. For your time, having us on.
No worries at all, dude. I'll chat to you soon, and best of luck.